you want a 68 to 74 Nova, or if you happen to have 7 68 to 74 Novas, or 5 or 12, whatever, here's 5 things you need to know. Number 1, it's probably not an SS. Now, I've covered this before in other videos. A lot of people want to know, how do I tell if my car was an SS? Well, from 68 to 74, the only way you can tell is with an original SS only engine that is numbered matching to your car, like a big block or something like that was only offered in a Super Sport. Or in 1972, you can have a 5th digit VIN of K. That denotes an L48 engine. It's the only year they denoted the engine in the VIN, and they had an L48 SS only engine with the code K. So if you have a 5th digit K in your 1972 Nova VIN, you had the L48 engine, it was only available in an SS, you have a real Super Sport. All of the years, you need original documentation, build sheet, window sticker, something like that, and then you can tell, or you have to have a numbers matching SS only engine. 1973, 1974, the SS was an appearance option only. You could get the SS on any engine. Number 2, the subframe. Well, the subframes from 1968 to 1974 will interchange. 73 and 74, the bumpers are different. Now 73 had a 1-year only 2.5 mile an hour bracket or bumper, and it had 1-year only brackets for the front and the back. In 1974, they went to a 5 mile per hour bumper, and it's got shock absorbers in the front and rear bumper. Now because of this, there's a couple of holes missing in the 74 subframes that the 68 to 73 had. But that's not a big deal. If you want to put that bumper on there, you just drill a couple of holes and everything else bolts right in. Now, the 67 through 69 Camaro subframe is the same piece. Maybe a few differences for bumper brackets, I'm not positive on that, but everything else will work. Number 3, pretty much the biggest 15-inch wheel tire you can get on this car is a 275/60/15. That's using an 8-inch wide wheel and ideally a 5-inch back spacing. Now, a lot of wheels don't come in 5-inch back spacing, so you either have to go with the 4.5-inch or 5.5-inch back spacing. You can do it with 4.5-inch, but you're going to have to roll this fender lip out here, and you might have to raise the back of the car up just a little bit to keep it from rubbing. It's going to be close. The better alternative, if you can't get the 5-inch wheel, is to put a 5.5-inch back spacing on. What that's going to do, bring the tire in closer to the inner wheelhouse, away from the outer lip here. Now, with an air shock, that's probably not going to work because the air shock body is so big, the tire is going to hit it. With a stock shock and the stock location, you can do it. You just have to watch, make sure it doesn't hit the inner fender well. All of these cars are kind of offset to one side. Almost all of them I've ever seen, they're offset to the passenger side. So if you do this side tire with a 5.5-inch spacing, back spacing, may hit the inner body. You can put a spacer on it. I've had to run one on one of my cars before to get a 275/60/15 like this on these cars. Number 4, the rear ends from 68 to 74 are all the same width and they'll all bolt in. From 68 to 79, they're all the same width and they will all bolt in. However, there are some differences in the leaf spring purchase. From monoleaf to multi-leaf, they're a little bit different. And also the pinion yoke for the drive shaft hookup is a little bit different on the 8.2, the 8.5, and the 12 bolt. Might have a different U-joint, might need a slightly different length drive shaft. Now in 1975 or 1976, the Novas with a 6-cylinder came with a 7.5-inch rear end, and those aren't very desirable. They're very weak, so you don't want that. Number 5, the doors. Now, from 68 to 74, the doors pretty much interchange. 68 was 1 year only. The lock's in a different spot. There's a couple other minor differences, but they'll all interchange anyway. Now, 73, 74 went to a one-piece glass in here, did away with the vent window. The inside door panel is a little bit different. The armrest is built into the panel. It's plastic and vinyl covered. They don't fit the other doors, but you can interchange the doors. You just have to make the panels fit, do a little bit of modification. The outside skin is the same. Now, from 68 to the middle of 1970, the hinges were bolt-on. In the middle of 1970, they changed to weld-on hinges on all their cars. So you can use a bolt-on door on a weld-on car. You just have to take the old part of the hinge apart because they don't usually slip apart as easy on the older style. But you can make that modification. There's no adjustment in the weld-on hinges. If they're wore out, you have to either weld them up, drill them back out, put bushings in them, or cut them off and weld on some new ones. All right, well, there's 5 quick facts for you if you have a 68 to 74 Nova, or if you're thinking about getting a 68 to 74 Nova. And like I said, some of you might be thinking about getting 7 or 8 68 to 74 Novas. You can never have too many, right? Don't ask my wife. Now, I've got lots of other stuff coming up on the budget build Nova. I'm going to do some more Nova facts. I'm going to do some more Nova things you need to know if you have a Nova. If you have some suggestions about areas of the car you want to know about, I'll look the information up if I don't know it. I'll try to get it as correct as I can, and we'll do some more videos like this. Thanks for checking this out. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, leave a question. See you next time.